The champagne flute trembled in Madison's manicured hand as she stood at the head table, her emerald bridesmaid dress catching the light from the chandeliers. I should have known something was off when she insisted on making a toast right after the best man. Madison loved attention, but this felt different, intentional, cold. "I have an announcement," Madison said, loud enough to quiet the 200 guests filling the reception hall. The string quartet fell silent. Forks paused midair. Even my 80-year-old grandmother stopped whispering about the dry salmon. I sat in my ivory silk wedding dress, Daniel's hand warm in mine, watching Madison with the kind of caution that comes from growing up with someone who turns every moment into a competition. Madison was stunning, sharp-featured, and intense. She'd always been bitter I was getting married first, that I found Daniel while she was still bouncing through relationships. "As most of you know," she said, smiling wide, "Olivia and I have shared everything, clothes, secrets, even crushes in high school." Nervous laughter rippled through the room. My mother looked tense at the family table, already red-cheeked from wine and worry. "So, it's only fair," Madison continued, raising her glass, "that I share this moment, too." She paused for dramatic effect. "I'm pregnant." The room clapped, confused but supportive. Aunt Helen started crying. She always cried at baby news, but I didn't look away from Madison because her smile had changed. "By the groom," she added. Silence. Real, painful silence. So quiet I could hear the ice sculptures melting. Then chaos, gasps, shouts, chair scraping. My mother's wine glass shattered on the floor. Uncle Tommy actually clapped before his wife hushed him, but I stayed still. Daniel still held my hand, then slowly turned to me and laughed. "Finally," he said, loud enough for all to hear, "the truth comes out." Madison froze. This wasn't the meltdown she expected. She wanted tears, drama, a ruined wedding. Instead, I picked up the remote I'd placed near my seat earlier and connected it to the venue's AV system, the one meant for our slideshow. "You know what, Madison?" I said, standing slowly. "You're right. The truth does deserve the spotlight." I pressed play. The ballroom screens flickered, switching from smiling couple photos to a new video. The timestamp read 6 months ago. The location, Madison's apartment. Her voice played loud through the speakers. "I'm not really pregnant," she said, laughing on a phone call. "But Olivia believes it. She's so gullible." Madison's face turned pale. She tried to rush the equipment, but my cousin Marcus, a former football player, stepped in her way. The video kept rolling. "The plan's easy. I'll get close to Daniel, then fake proof. A few texts, maybe some pictures. Public embarrassment. Olivia got engaged first. It's only fair." Another voice, her friend, asked, "What if Daniel says no?" Madison replied, "He won't. Be nice, play helpless, and guys usually go along with it. That'll be enough to make it look real." I clicked to the next clip. Madison at a bar with friends, timestamped 2 weeks later. "Phase 2 is in motion," she told them, laughing. Texting him, acting like I need help with random stuff. "Olivia's too busy wedding planning to notice." "Aren't you worried about karma?" someone asked. Madison shrugged. "Karma's for people who wait around. I take control." By now, Madison had stopped moving. She stood there, watching her own words echo through the room. I clicked to the next file, a series of text messages between Madison and someone saved as Photo Guy. "Madison, need realistic photos of me with my sister's fiancé in compromising positions." Photo Guy, $500 for basic package. $1,000 for pregnancy test photos and ultrasound mock-ups. Madison, deal. Sending photos now. The screenshots showed Madison had sent innocent pictures from family gatherings, ones where Daniel had been cropped out of group photos to be doctored into evidence of an affair. "Should we continue?" I asked the silent reception hall. "There's so much more. Like the fake pregnancy test you bought online, the pillow you've been wearing under tight dresses when you knew we'd run into family friends, the acting coach you hired to help you cry on command for tonight." Madison's mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. But the best was yet to come. I clicked to the final video. This one was different, grainier, clearly from a hidden camera. The timestamp was from last week. Madison sat across from a man I didn't recognize, sliding an envelope across a restaurant table. "Here's half," she said. "You'll get the rest after you, dear part at the wedding." "Just to be clear," the man said, "I'm supposed to pretend to be Daniel, claim the baby's mine, and make a scene?" "Exactly. Olivia's never met you. In the chaos, no one will notice you're not actually the groom until it's too late. The humiliation will be complete. Lady, this is seriously messed up. You sure you want to destroy your sister's wedding like this?" Madison's response chilled even me, and I'd watched this video dozens of times. "I don't just want to destroy her wedding. I want to destroy her, everything she has, everything she is. She thinks she's better than me with her perfect relationship and her stupid happiness. Well, we'll see who's happy after night." I paused the video and looked at Daniel, my sweet, faithful Daniel, who'd been wearing a wire for the past 3 months at my request. He stood up beside me, pulling the tiny microphone from his boutonniere. "You see," Daniel said, addressing the room but looking at Madison, "when Madison first started texting me 6 months ago, I thought it was innocent, but something felt off. The messages got flirtier, more inappropriate. I showed them all to Olivia immediately. I picked up the story. We could have confronted her then, but we knew Madison. She would have denied it, played the victim, turned the family against us. So, we decided to let her hang herself." Daniel played along just enough to keep her scheme going while documenting everything. "The private investigator was my idea," Daniel added. "Figured if she was willing to destroy our wedding, we should know exactly how far she'd go." From the corner of my eye, I saw several uniformed officers enter the reception hall. Perfect timing. I had asked them to wait outside until I gave the signal. "The really interesting thing," I continued, my voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through me, "is that hiring someone to impersonate another person for fraud is actually a crime. So is conspiracy to commit fraud, identity theft, cyber harassment." Our lawyer, "Hi, Janet. I waved to my attorney at table 12, says Madison's looking at serious charges." Madison finally found her voice. "You can't. This is entrapment. You set me up." "No." Janet stood up, every inch the shark lawyer in her elegant pantsuit. "Entrapment requires law enforcement to induce someone to commit a crime they wouldn't otherwise commit. You planned this entirely on your own. We just documented it." The officers approached Madison, who looked wildly around the room for support. Our parents sat frozen at their table. My mother's face was a masterpiece of horror and disappointment. Dad wouldn't even look at Madison. The daughter he'd always defended, always enabled, had finally gone too far. "Mama," Madison's voice cracked. "Daddy, you can't let them do this." "You tried to destroy your sister's wedding," Mom said quietly, tears streaming down her face. "You tried to destroy her marriage, her happiness, her life. For what? Jealousy, spite. She stole everything from me," Madison screamed, mascara running in black rivers down her cheeks. "Everyone always loved her more. She got the grades, the friends, the husband. I earned those things," I interrupted, "by being a decent person, by working hard, by treating people with kindness instead of viewing them as props in my personal drama." As the officers led Madison away, she turned back one last time. "You'll regret this, Olivia. I'm your sister." "No," I said firmly. "You're someone who happens to share my DNA. Family doesn't try to destroy family." The reception hall remained silent after the police car pulled away. 200 guests stood awkwardly, unsure whether to leave or stay, whether to applaud or cry. Then my grandmother, bless her ornery soul, raised her champagne glass. "Well, that was better than cable TV. Now, can we eat the cake? I paid good money for this outfit, and I'm not leaving without dessert." The tension broke. Nervous laughter filled the room, then genuine laughter. Uncle Tony started a slow clap that built into real applause. The band leader, who'd witnessed the entire spectacle, grabbed his microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen, I've played a lot of weddings, but that's a first. What do you say we celebrate the happy couple who just proved that honesty, trust, and a good private investigator are the keys to a lasting marriage? The music started, love and marriage, because our band leader had a sense of humor. Daniel pulled me onto the dance floor, and I let him spin me, my dress flaring out like a flower blooming after a storm. No regrets, he asked, softly, for my ears only. None, I said, meaning it. She made her choice 6 months ago. We just gave her enough rope. Your sister's probably going to need therapy and a lawyer. My parents will hire both, I'm sure. They always clean up her messes, but not this time. This time, there are consequences. As we danced, guests began to join us on the floor. The caterers, God bless them, continued serving dinner as if attempted wedding sabotage was just another dietary restriction to work around. The photographer kept snapping pictures, probably already calculating how much he could sell the story for. My phone buzzed with texts. That was epic. Cousin Lisa. Your sister's a psycho, but you're a queen. College roommate Jen. I got the whole thing on video. YouTube Uncle Tommy. By the time we cut the cake, Madison free, the wedding had transformed from potential disaster to legendary event. People would talk about this for years. Not the flowers or the food or my dress, but the bride who turned her sister's betrayal into the ultimate victory. You know what the funny thing is? I told Daniel as we shared the first bite of cake. She was never actually pregnant. The private investigator confirmed it. She was going to claim she lost the baby after the wedding, use it for more sympathy and manipulation. Honestly, I'm just impressed you kept this secret for 6 months. You usually can't even keep my Christmas presents a surprise. I laughed, really laughed, for the first time all evening. Turns out revenge is excellent motivation for secret keeping. The rest of the reception passed in a blur of dancing, drinking, and increasingly wild retellings of what had just happened. By the time Daniel and I made our exit through a shower of rose petals, Madison's name had become synonymous with epic fail in our family lexicon. As we settled into the limo, I pulled out my phone one last time. Madison had been released on bail and had posted on social media, "Family betrayal cuts deepest. You'll see the real victim is here." I screenshotted it, forwarding it to Janet with a note. More evidence for the harassment file. Then I turned off my phone, leaned into my husband, and let myself savor the moment. Madison had wanted to destroy my wedding, my marriage, my happiness. Instead, she'd given me the greatest gift of all, the knowledge that I'd married a man who faced temptation and chose loyalty, who helped me turn betrayal into triumph, who danced with me through the chaos and came out laughing. So, Daniel said as we pulled away from the venue, "Honeymoon tomorrow. Think we'll have any more family drama?" "Not where we're going," I grinned. I may have forgotten to mention, I changed our destination. We're going to that resort Madison's always dreamed about but could never afford. Posted pictures of our booking confirmation on Instagram an hour ago. Daniel laughed so hard the driver asked if we were okay. "Remind me never to get on your bad side, Mrs. Peterson." "Deal, Mr. Peterson." Now let's go start our happily ever after. The real one, not the fake one my sister tried to sell. As we drove into the night, I thought about Madison probably rage scrolling through social media in a holding cell. She'd spent 6 months planning my destruction, never realizing she was orchestrating her own downfall. The irony was almost Shakespearean. The schemer undone by her own scheme, the liar exposed by her own words, the sister who claimed I stole everything, losing the only thing that mattered, the family who'd always defended her no matter what. But that was Madison's story now, not mine. Mine was just beginning, with a man who proved his worth, a family who finally saw the truth, and a wedding story that would become family legend. Sometimes, the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's simply letting toxic people reveal themselves while you stand back and press play.